Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Art Hour, our free Facebook Art Hour with myself. This week we are going to be doing Cuphead and Mugman. We're on a Monday, so it's not Thursday unfortunately, it is still Monday, and this is the day that we are going to be doing our live art hours from now on until I open our group at Babington Civic Centre when that reopens. So thank you very much for joining me. All we need this week is a few different colours. You see on our example, we've really only got blue, red and black. So that's all I've got today. Blue, red and black, a pencil, a rubber, and we can crack on. So thank you very much for joining me. Let's get cracking. So as we did, if anyone remembers Mickey Mouse, when we did Mickey Mouse, with most of my drawings we start with circles. So if we're going to start with circles, we'll start with Cuphead. So if I draw our circle in for Cuphead, I can tell you how big that circle is going to be. Always circle poor, aren't I? There's our first circle. So that one is about 6 centimetres. And then on the opposite side, we're going to do another circle here. And this is for Mugman. And this is slightly smaller because Mugman has a slightly smaller head. So I will tell you how big this will be. This one is 5.5 centimetres. And then underneath, as we did with Mickey Mouse, we'll need some little body circles. So these are 3.5 and 3. So as that's 6, that's 5.5. That's 3.5, that's 3. So they're half a centimetre down each time. So then we need some parallel lines. So we'll get those in. So lines of action. And kind of that shape for those two. And then we've got let's have a look at these guys. So they're kind of similar shapes. If you guys want to get that in. And then we are going to get some more lines in, or more guidelines we're going to get in. Just help us with trousers and things. So there's one guideline. And then this one. It's a very gentle arc shape over each side. And that gives us an idea of where cups are and straws are and that type of thing. So that's what we start with. So once we've done that, we're going to get some more shapes in here. And these are just to determine where feet are. This one is kind of that way, kind of up. It actually finishes on that line, which is good. That gives us a little bit more of an idea. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut Mugman's nose. So Mugman's nose is kind of just shy of Cuphead. And it's going to come in and out. There. And the reason we're going to do Cuphead first is because he kind of mirrors Mugman. Cuphead. Cuphead's features are a little bit different. So then as we've done that line, I'm going to bring that one up and around there. So that's his first eye shape. And then just following this, again, this line of action, that's really helpful. We're going to get the other eye in, right there. And then we're going to swap over here. I'm going to get Cuphead's nose is very small. It's only a little very small nose. But then his eye, again, we're using this as the top line. Then his eye comes kind of like all the way around. And then up to there. Now we've done those, we are going to do pupils. So what we're going to do is put these in, but then we take a chip out. So we take a chip out there. Let me rub that bit. There's a little chip out. And then again on this side, doing our shape, and then we're doing a little cut out. There. Okay. Now we've got that far, I'm going to draw the mouth. So it's kind of like a bean shape. Pokemons mouth. And then Cuphead is the same on this side. He's just slightly skinnier. So and then they need a tongue, so kind of around there, like a letter M shape. We do one hoop and then two hoops. And there's our mouth. And then on this side, because Cuphead's face is slightly wider and his mouth is slightly wider, his tongue is slightly wider. This is that kind of shape. Let's iron a little bit stronger there so you can see it. Now those faces in. So then let's get straws in. So using that line and that line there. And then about there. And they're pretty much on that guideline. We've got and straw. And then Cuphead's is slightly different. His goes up like that shape. And then as you hit the top of that circle, take a line that way. And then we do an arch line round. And then use that line, your guideline. And then we need another line. Another line. And that is the straws on those. Now we've done straws, we need handles, don't we? So let's get those in. So we've got a little shape there. And a little shape there. And this side. Now don't get too precious about here because they've got hands there, which we are going to start with in a second. So we need one line there, one line there, one line there, and then one line there. Lots of lines, but you will work out, because this is Cuphead's arm, and that's going to come out, and he's going to have a hand on his shoulder there, and the same here. Mugman's arm comes over, and then he's got a hand on the shoulder here. So this shoulder is coming round. Now you can do these quite lightly, following your lines of action that you've already put in. Oops, sorry. Okay. So then we need, on this side, 3 beans. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 little beans. So, which one? 2, 3. And that's why we aren't precious about this cup handle, because we can get rid of the edge of that cup handle. Well, then what we do here, we do here. So underneath man, got 1, 2, 3, and we get rid of the bottom of that cup handle again. So we put a little line there, and then a little line there. That's the end of arms, and we're going to be dealing with fingers. So we need to get, because there's a ridge around the glove, we make our ridge shape. And again here, we do that on each side. Right, let us get, I've just noticed we have no shine on this nose, so we need a shine. There's the little shine of the nose, and we can rub out the guideline from behind that shine. Now up here, Mugman's mug doesn't really follow that guideline. It slightly pops out there. So once we've got that in, we can get this line in a little bit harder, and then we can join this line up because that is the true line. Following the guide, that is staying in. Right, and again, cup head, exactly the same thing. This line is staying in. And line is also staying in. So now we'll tackle the hands. So this one is kind of circle shaped. So once we've done that bit, let's get rid of all these lines inside his hand, and also that line there. And then he has 3 little lines on his glove. And then this guy, we're going to do a circle round, and then kind of a circle around there, but we're not going to finish it all the way off, because what we're going to do is bring that down about here. And then we're going to have that kind of shape. I'm going to rub out those guidelines there. And those there can. And then we're going to get those 3 little lines in. Let's just soften those and soften those. Again, do the same over here. So we don't actually see any of Cuphead's shoulders. We just have this arm. And we're coming around there. So now we're on to bodies. Now they both have shorts on, but we put this little guideline in. So this is going to help us work out where the shorts are. So we're going to use that line, take it over that way, and come down. And then on the opposite side, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're following that guideline. And we're following that down. So then here, there's our line up. This is where the shorts are beginning and ending. We're basically making shorts for these little lines of action. And then here, the same. We've got that line, and that line. With this one, because he's got his leg up, we have that kind of shape instead. Right, so now I'm happy we've got heads, bodies. Now we need the legs. And then here. Don't forget that line goes all the way into the shorts, because we can see into the shorts. And then, as we did with the gloves, you need to kind of make a little ring. Around those. And then this one, because his foot is up. So we've got a line and a line. Kind of that way round. They're not full circles, so we take just a little bit out. If we look where we've put our guidelines here, start with our shoe shape. So we've got our heel, got our sole or shoe, and our heel of our shoe. Oh no, you don't see this shoe here because it's behind this one, but we do have a little bit. So we put one little line and one little line, and that hits there. It doesn't need to go any further. And there. This one. Following using your guidelines. It's pretty much the same shape as that one really. There's not very much difference between them. And then this one is slightly different, so we've got a line coming over and round, This one doing the same thing. And then we've got the sole. And as we've done that, he needs a heel. So there's his heel. And just as reference, I'm going to put a circle around here. Circle around to here. It's not really a circle, it's more of a blobby shape. And that will be a shadow. So now we can start rubbing out our guidelines. Hi Carol, I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Have I gone too fast today? I've only just seen the comments, they've only just popped up. Hopefully you're enjoying this one today. I'm going to have to rack my brain and think what we can do for next week. If you've got any ideas, let me know. Oh, good to hear. So I think that is all. So we don't rub any of these out now because we're going to be using all of these. I'm going to be going over all of them with our black pen. But so first of all, we are going to get our red pen. This is it's a double header, so it's got a thick and a fine tip and a thick tip on one pen. Really handy. So I'm going to use a thick tip and we're going to start with Cuphead. So we're going to start over this side so we don't smudge. So we are going to get some colour in with this stripe. There we are. then we're going to get some colour into this stripe. It doesn't matter if the colour is flat, because this is a cartoon character. It's a one-dimensional, two-dimensional, one-dimensional character. So we don't really need any type of shade. So then the next we're going to do is his nose. And next is drawing and then pants. I'm giving that a little, I know I said no extra value. I'm just going to give that an extra thick bit because it's squeaky pen. And then shoes. So if we go this one first, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this one first. If you're left-handed, do this one first. It's just so you're not putting your hand onto your wet marker. It doesn't stay wet very long, marker pen, but you run the risk of smudging it. There's one. Now if you can, just give the sole a little bit of extra colour, because that would be darker. It's not a line on there. And then his other foot. Hey, good shout. Yes. Smashing idea, Carol. Your wish is my command. We shall draw Popeye next week. Fabulous idea. There we have all our red. So put that to one side. We are going to use it for his mouth here. But then what we're going to use now, so I'm going to use teal because I don't have, on this original drawing I used watercolour because that was the closest thing I could find to these colours, because it's like a muted blue, but I don't have any colours that are anywhere near the right colour. So I'm going to use this teal green, but you could use blue. I've got blues there as well. My blues are a bit dark, so I'm going to crack on with this this greeny colour. We have a nose, and then we need pants. We have his pants, and now we need shoes. Shoe. We put shoes in. So then we just need to get his tongue in there. So then once we've got those colours in, we're now going to be doing our lines, and then also colouring in the parts of the characters that are black. So their torsos are black. That's really the only thing that's black on them, other than the pupils of their eyes and the insides of their mouths. So we can start doing that now. Again, I'm going to start over this side because this side is going to be a little bit drier, but what I might do actually is turn myself upside down and then start to get these lines in, just because then you're not touching So I'm not really doing it in order, I'm just kind of going where I'm not touching anything. So then we've got black torso. Now let's do this one first, and here we are going to leave a little gap, a little white gap, and there we are going to do the same thing, because then you'll be able to distinguish between the two torsos. There we are. So, because I've got these fancy pens, I've got one thick end, one thin end. So just all the way around. All those lovely lines that you've taken ages to do. Unlike Mickey the Mouse, they have got white legs. Turn him round now. there's one done. So again, I'm going to go that way, I think. If you don't have the space to move your drawing round, get a piece of kitchen roll. If you put a piece of kitchen roll under your hand, same goes for if you're doing pencil drawings or anything with any media that's gonna smudge. So pastels, anything like that, it's always best just to pop some tissue underneath your hand, and then it will stop any type of transference movement of pencil or chalk. Or just slow down. Wait for things to dry. Which is normally me because I'm always too fast. So now we're over onto this torso. We're just echoing that line that we didn't do. Just there. And that just shows the difference between Mugman and Cuphead. And again, just the torsos, not the legs. So now we've got that bit, we've got this bit here. Now this bit here is black because this bit here is a shadow. So we colour this bit in black. So what I am not going to do today is I'm now going to rub out my pencil lines. I'm not going to do that till tomorrow because I'm going to wait for this felt tip to dry, because otherwise it's going to smear all over the show and I don't want it to do that. So there we have Cuphead and Mugman. Hope you've enjoyed this week, and we're going to be doing Popeye next week. Thank you to Carol for the suggestion. I think that's a fab idea. So we'll be getting on with next Monday, 4 o'clock, Popeye. Thank you very much indeed. You take care and I'll see you all next week. Thanks. Bye.